All right, what is up, my brothers from another mother? Today's video is a sponsored request from a gentleman with really bad anxiety. So let's hop straight into this. Uh, Normally I would read the email, but he sent me attachment because some of it didn't flow well. So I downloaded the PDF here. So we'll just begin with it this way. So please make YouTube video. I want to see if there's anyone like me. Please don't disclose my identity. Want to be anonymous. Your opinion matters. Don't be gentle. Just need the cold hard truth. Well, all I do is deliver cold hard truth bombs here, my brother, but you're probably not going to like what I'm going to say. So let's hop right into it. So here's the background. And guys, if you've dealt with really bad anxiety and you have some feedback beyond what I'm about to offer, just listen to this request and then wait till the end and then throw a comment down below for him too. He says, I'm a 25-year-old virgin with no close friends. Friend term used so loosely these days, he says. Basically, I don't go out, and when I do, I get panic attacks. I don't show it, but my pulse goes up to 120 when I'm out in public with a lot of people around. I feel like an alien, even though I like talking to people. I'm a virgin because of psychological issues below, and most likely fear of being laughed at. Not fear of rejection, fear of success, and not knowing what to do when I succeed. I had women literally throw themselves at me out of fear or arrogance. I turn them down. I'm afraid people will laugh at me and think that I'm not man enough. There was no passage for me into manhood. No hunt, no war, no nothing. I still feel like a child. No one told me when I was already a man. Now, everyone I know is getting married, buying houses, having children. I'm still alone and not letting anyone in. So he's 25, yeah? Okay. I'm not looking to get married anytime soon at all. I just want to experience the thrill of the hunt, and after I'm bored with playing habitat with one of the better ones. Okay. Also experience emotions, love, and stuff. Issue. I have a problem that I can't piss in public restrooms when someone's around. Maybe it's the pee sound hitting urinal, water, don't know. It takes me some time to prepare, so when I stand there, I get anxious and I can't relax. It's called Bladder Shy. It's not size. Looks like he's got a Johnson in there, so he's good. I think it's trauma from childhood, my insecurities in my body. All right, let me just make this a little bit bigger so it's easy for you guys to see on the screen. When my mom's boyfriend took us camping, okay, so this dude's raised by a single mom, so here's probably one of the biggest sources of his problems. Took us camping and had to pee. The public bathroom was completely full and I couldn't do it in the urinal. I remember how disappointed he was in me. I saw him as dad because my mom never married and my dad left at birth. Since then, I could only do it a few times drunk around my good friends that all betrayed me. You have a common denominator here, my friend. The first thing that I want to point out to you is that it sounds like everybody out there is out to get you and everybody has double-crossed you and you're always the victim of all of this. This is not that uncommon with men that are raised by single moms. I'll talk a little bit more about this at the end. Actually, let's continue on because I know there's more coming here, I'm sure. So your mom took your boyfriend took you. He was disappointed, laughed. Okay, one started to laugh at me behind my back. Hang on, drunk. Okay, so this is your friends. So one of your friends started to laugh at you behind your back, and one was so insecure he had to belittle me to raise his value. This is just men kind of poking fun at each other, man. Like you have to get used to this. This is what men do. We shit test each other with jokes in this sense. We always poke fun at each other. So this is just part of being a man. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But now, I don't trust people. I don't feel I can trust people. I've recently been red pilled. Now I trust people even less. I built this persona that I'm normally normal and that I had women, so I'm afraid to break it and feel less of a man. I can't even piss anywhere near anyone. Well, okay. If someone find out if I know people at work, they'll laugh at me and I can't quit. I have some debt and I'm afraid, so I'll have to hide it. This is impacting my career. Dude, you're making this such a big deal. Like, okay, well, let's get through the whole thing. Counseling didn't work. I never trusted. Well, counseling doesn't work if you use the wrong kind of counselor. Well, I'll talk about counseling options as well. I never trusted people and try to walk away from any of my friends. Told me to medicate myself with antidepressants, which I'm against. I'm not depressed. I'm frustrated. In my opinion, this is an issue of inaction. This is an issue of anxiety. Okay, and always stay away from antidepressants. They're not good for men for a whole bunch of reasons. You pack on weight, your sexual desire drops. You basically become strongly reliant upon them. They're not good. I'm always against them wherever possible unless they're absolutely necessary. Physical. I've been working out for years but only started to see results recently. I have some muscle, however, I'm fat, even obese. So he's 6 foot, 210 pounds, 30% body fat. I can't lose weight because of other things holding me back and I get anxious and start binging. I was never slim, always skinny fat, didn't want to take my shirt off. Now that I'm trying to lose body fat for 2 years, I keep failing. Again, common theme here that I'm starting to see reoccur over and over again. I'm a victim, don't know what to do, poor me, sulk with me sort of thing. Professional. I didn't know what to do, I don't know what I want to do after school, so I took the hardest route and became an engineer. I really dislike this profession because everything must be accurate and by the book. It's only good for foundation of hard work. I work as an engineer now, but there's some sales side to it, so that it's not that boring, but it's not rewarding either in terms of cash and fulfillment. This job is growing old for me. It's a safe job with a steady salary, not enough to put money aside for down payment to buy a flat or a house. It would literally take me 5 years for a crappy one-bedroom apartment. Aspirations. I want to have FU money and business helping people like you have. I've started reading books. I've read Rational Male, Way of the Superior Man. I don't recommend guys read this book. It's a little too woo-woo in my opinion, but I know that it's highly regarded on the interwebs and by a lot of people, which typically push woo-woo shit. So just know that that's never a book that I'll ever recommend. How to Make Friends and Influence People, The Obstacles Away, Unscripted, The War of Art. These books really open. By the way, guys, pinned in the top comment below, I have a link to my Amazon bookstore with the books that I recommend that you read. These are good reads. If you haven't read them, take a look there. I'll probably do a video at some point walking through each one, letting you guys know why I've placed them there. But take a look at those. So he feels trapped in limbo, making just enough, saving a little, and just being okay. So you've got a JOB, which stands for just over broke. Saving a little and just being okay, not great, but okay. Things are not bad. They're not bad enough for big change. Okay. Recently started to learn coding, and that was like waking up, but I can't focus on blocking myself with thoughts of, is this even worth doing? Do I like doing this? Why I keep doing the hardest things? Do I even like coding? I'm not sure why you keep doing things you don't like to begin with. I'm not sure what the origin of that is. I mean, it's interesting that you take on hard tasks, which is incumbent upon you as a guy to challenge yourself, but you're doing things that you hate, which is bizarre. The way I see it is I will learn to code, create software, solve problems, make a software as a service company that I would run with a small team, but it would take me even less sociable. Then I would never go out. I tend to overthink things. I need to start a business. No, you don't need to start a business. You need to deal with your anxiety. But every business I start, I find a flaw in it, and the business is unscalable. Okay, everything that you do, you find a flaw in, my friend. It's not just business. This is your life. Everything in life you find a flaw in, and life is flawed. Again, let me finish the request, but I'm just pointing out obvious things that I keep tripping over here. I spend too much time on details that aren't the 80-20 rule. Before I get 20% me of the business, I crack and quit. So problems you're dealing with here. I know I'm a warrior, but there's nothing to fight for. Nothing seems to matter. When I try to lose weight, I fall mostly because I don't have hard why. People used to be that why, or sorry, women used to be that why, but I now see it as an act of women should never be the why for self-care, dude. You should be the why for self-care, wanting to be the better version of yourself. Women should just be a byproduct of that. You're starting from the wrong place, looking at women as the why. But I see it as an act of confident and abundant. I can get girls to notice me. 2, I feel trapped in my situation, like if I pursue them the other way, like if I pursue this, then the other thing won't be possible, or I will ruin my reputation if I have any. Okay, 3, I don't date because I know I can't get the women I want. I only go for 9s and 10s in the club. Oh, okay, this is bizarre because you're saying you don't go to social places, but then you say you go to clubs. Anyway, let's deal with that later. Above my level, I'm a 6 or 7 at best, only get a few dances, no escalation. I get some attention from low quality women, but I still don't act on it. It's like an invisible wall holding me back. Yeah, the wall's you. I went on a few dates with these low quality women, but failed to escalate and really didn't find them that attractive to bother. I learned a lot about game in the past year, but I still have this wall. It's mostly because I feel that if I get with this 6 to 7 chick without me being good with myself, I'll fall into her frame and leave miserably with starfish in my bed. Okay. It's like I have a gut feeling that girls that are interested in me are not my best choice in my future, and that I need to improve more to get girls to enhance my life. So in my mind, I abstained from getting one-itis because that happened before. Thank God she didn't want anything to do with me after the first date. I probably have Okay, yeah, okay. Number 4, I feel stuck that I'm not progressing in anything that I don't want to pursue. It's always find the next best thing, which will make me rich, happy, fulfilled. Lack of focus on one thing in my life. I focus on new. A lot of rambling in here, dude. Can't sacrifice. Okay. Number 5, when do you know when something is not worth pursuing? How do you know what this is? Am I being too hard, soft on myself? Do I need to relax and push forward? Okay. How much more do you have here? Okay, let's do the questions part. I'm running around from one thing I want to do to another. Last year, I tried to learn 3 languages, learn guitar, learn programming basics, learn to trade stocks, currencies, create a drop shipping business, and 2 blogs, of which you've linked none to me to take a look at. You also didn't link your social stuff, which is one of the things I ask you to do so I can take a look at things in your blind spots, gentlemen. So when you make these requests, fill out that part of the form. It's difficult for me to fully assess what I'm looking at when I'm just reading what it is you're telling me. Created drop shipping. Okay, didn't finish any of these things except for drop shipping store, which you finished, but I felt terrible selling useless products, so I had to quit. Again, you created something that you hate. I became average in all of them. Of course, you're never going to excel at something that you hate, my man. So you did 60% and quit. What should I focus on first? Money, physical, psychological, or game? Forget about game. Forget about women. Deal with these 3 over here. Straight up. And the most important thing for you to deal with is psychological and physical. There's no way that you're going to make bank if you haven't got your mind in order. Your mind's upside down. It's totally upside down. The indecision is literally killing me. I lack discipline to do all, consistency to finish what I start, and direction on what I do focus on will have the highest impact on my well-being. I should title this video Major Anxiety, something around that, because this is what we're dealing with. It's not a lack of work ethic, it's a lack of faith in my work. It's a lack of faith in yourself, man, and focus on the right things. Maybe you can suggest a direction for business I should focus on that might be good for me. I'm an introvert, but I love getting to know people's aspirations, like a radio show, podcast host, but I can't do it while I'm a fraud and haven't fixed my life. Okay, well, you've learned that part, so that's good. You have any advice on books that would help me get on track? Again, any book in the Amazon bookstore pinned in the top comment will be more than useful to you. How did you get confidence in starting business, hiring people? You're not in a position to even go here right now, dude. All right. So let's begin with my feedback session. You're a young 25-year-old man with major anxiety. You can't pee in bathrooms. You're a virgin. You're not good with women. You say that you're about a 6 out of 10, so you have lots of room to improve on yourself. This is what you need to start with, dude, is you. Mental point of origin. You're upside down. And everywhere throughout this entire request, it's always poor me, come sulk with me. And I know what's going to happen immediately right now. I'm going to get an email back from you going, no, that's not what I was trying to say. This is what I was going to say, with another big essay trying to complicate your life further and then try to justify why you've done it. The first thing you need to do is accept this cold, hard, bitter truth. I am telling you the cold, hard truth. You have an anxiety issue that you need to deal with. How do you deal with an issue? You need to identify it first, which I think you kind of have, but you haven't totally, because I still see a lot of poor me, sulk with me, my life sucks sort of thing throughout the entire thread, not I need to take ownership for this and become better. It's starting to lean into that. I don't know any clinical psychologists, with the exception of Sean T. Smith, that deals with anxiety issues. I don't know if he has capacity in his schedule. He has a website. Look him up. You should know who he is. I worked with him for a long time before the train wreck. Still a good guy. We have nothing but good things to say about each other. So go look him up and see if he has capacity in his schedule to take you on as a client. That being said, I don't know any books that I could recommend for dealing with your anxiety, but your biggest problem that you're dealing with today is you had an absence of a man in your household growing up. And you can't, I mean, it's actually at the point where it's so bad that you've got a lot more work to do on yourself than you think, I believe. It's probably going to take you at least a couple years to get yourself in a far better position than what you are today. There's no fast, easy, quick fix for this one. This is going to be doubling down, doing the work. You've created a life for yourself that you dislike. You've made choices your entire life, like gotten into a career that you hate, surrounding yourself with people that you don't like, that you deem low value or will double cross you. And newsflash, guys, almost everybody at some point in your life, in every stage of your life, is going to double cross you. It's part of being a man, is learning to identify who these losers are and who the winners are, and being more selective as you make those mistakes, as people screw you over. I've been screwed over many times. I've been screwed over by a best friend of 20 years. I had to sue. I've been screwed over by another really close friend of mine that I knew for about 12 years, mostly in business. And it's mostly because they see dollars rolling in and they want to take advantage of basically capitalizing on that, and they take the friendship and they throw it under the bus, regardless of anything you've done with them. I had a really close friend of mine that I bailed out that was living in my house. I provided him with accommodation when he got thrown out and a job, and I still got double crossed. People will double cross you, man. It's part of being life. It's part of being a man. You just have to get better at identifying these idiots so that you can avoid them in the future once you've become double crossed. At 25, you haven't learned shit. You're still young. Okay, so you still have a lot more growth to endure. You have a lot more pain to endure, and probably more than you think, because a lot of the pain that you've endured, you've taken on and you've looked at it like, oh, poor me. Come sulk with me. Join my pity party and let's talk about that. That's not what solves problems. You need to make these wounds your work. Where can I begin, man? I'm sitting here before you as a guy with third-degree burns, again, on both of his arms and his chest, okay? I've done work on my life to deal with the anxiety. I would not take a shirt off going to a beach when I was a kid, and you're talking about similar sort of things, being obese, as a guy today. And I don't think you're obese, because if you're only 210 pounds at 6 foot, you're probably, like you say, more skinny fat, which is pear-shaped, meaning you're holding on to belly fat around your waist and you're lacking some muscle in the upper body. But every single fucking man has the ability to put on muscle if you take on high-intensity training, if you pick up heavy shit and you put it down and you have a good diet and you get sleep. I can't put on muscle or I can't lose the fat, oh, poor me, come sulk with me, that's BS. Okay? Stop lying to yourself. Stop looking for a pity party. That's a feminine thing to do. That's what women do. Women will get together and they'll cry about how disadvantaged they are, and the patriarchy forces them to make 70 cents for every dollar, and they manufacture a story about it, and they all get together with their pink hats and they cry about that. You have a choice as a man. You can go and do the work, or you can join the pity party crowd. Right now, you're kind of leaning more into the pity party crowd, right? And I'd like to see you get away from that and lean more into doing the work and leaning into the harder stuff that will improve you. Dealing with the anxiety. Just because you went to one clinical psychologist and didn't find that you got the results doesn't mean that you won't get results if you find another one. Find one that specializes in dealing with anxiety disorders. See if you can get Sean. If you can't get him, maybe you can ask him to recommend somebody that he knows. That's how these guys work. Right? So if you didn't get results from that guy, ask him. And if he can't help you, ask for him for a recommendation for somebody that can get it dealt with. Asking me and throwing out all of this stuff over here that you've given me, you've basically vomited all this stuff out. And you're saying, help me out, solve this problem with my quick requests. I appreciate the donation and the request, but at the end of the day, you've left out so many components of this. All you've done is told me a version of your story. You didn't link me anything so I could take a look at who you are, your website, your business, your social, or any of that stuff. So I'm just guessing based on what you're telling me. And all I'm really picking up on is pity party, not doing enough work. You have way more work to do, and there's going to be way more disappointments for you to endure to get out of this rut that you're in. The rut that you're in, the results that you have, stay here for a second, hold on. The results that you have, my friend, I'm glad I have an opportunity to show you guys this. These are your results out of life at the top of the iceberg. This is what success looks like for people. This is what you see with me. You're like, I want to be like you. I want to have FU money rich. You're like looking at this. But what you fail to realize is there's hard work, persistence, late nights, rejections, sacrifices, discipline, criticisms, doubts, failure, risk. And I could go on with another probably 20 really, really big items. The tip of the iceberg is all everybody sees, but they don't see all the work they have to do below the waterline. These are the results that you get. These words here are all the choices that you have to make on a daily basis. And all of the choices that you have to make to do the hard work come from a belief system that comes from strength. Okay, it comes from fortitude, it comes from discipline, it comes from gumption. So, your life's a disappointment, yeah? Well, my friend, it is time to take some ownership and you have work to do. First thing I would recommend is dealing with the clinical issue, which a psychologist can help you out with. I've already addressed that. Stop crying about being fat. Stop eating, move more. It's a simple formula. Everybody knows how to look better and be healthier. Move better, move more, eat better. When you tweak those two things, and you can hire personal trainers, and don't make an excuse like, oh, I can't go to the gym or my gym's still closed. You can find online resources or hire an online trainer that can put together a program for you that will fix you right up. I'm going to plug my friend Myron Gaines. You can find him on Instagram. It's Unplugged Fit, and ask him for some assistance. You can pay for his time, and he can probably put you on some kind of a program. But you're going to have to do the work. If you're willing to do the work, you're going to get the results. I promise you. If you're not getting the results, it's because you're not doing the work. Simple as that. Okay? Where is it over here? Nobody cares. Work harder. You know, these things are going up on the wall, by the way, for a reason to remind people about these things. Do the damn work. Anyway, anybody out there that sees this video that's dealt with a bad anxiety issue or pointing and sputtering at the world for the results that they've gotten and change things around, taking ownership. If you have a resource like a clinical psychologist or a practice that you use that might have helped you to kind of kickstart and bump you, do that. That's how you get started, my friend. Bottom line, man, if you're not getting the results that you want out of life, your belief system's broken. Your belief system works your brain, which tells you what choices to make, and those choices will get you the results that you get around your life and around your world, with women, with money, with success, with business, whatever it is that you're looking for. If you're not aligned with better days in your life, more money, more muscles, more bank sort of thing, then you have daily choices to make that are going to improve that. And only you can control that. The guy that you look at in the mirror every single morning is the guy that you need to have a talk with to take ownership for the crap results that you've gotten. And don't resign yourself to the feminized pity party. Okay? Let the toxic feminists do that. That's not what men do. Men take ownership. Take ownership for your life. Get some work done. If you guys have a request that you'd like to make, pinned up on the top right of the screen, there's a pop-out banner. You can click that and you can request a video. Also, the channel sponsor, the Tactical Soap Company, these guys over here, they've been a great supporter of my work. They're also pinned in the top description, so check that out. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.